We are the only ones. So this necessitates a very specific physiology. And this is where you go back to the gait. This is where you go back to the categories and degenerate and apply kinesiology, because this is based on the gait. And for instance, it's between brackets, if you deal with a disc hernia, it's a lot better to deal with it in a sitting position or standing position than lying position. And the weight bearing, using interlink, using all the things, you will get already, and you can do TBM on the disc, on the lumbar. This is what we do in the TBM seminar in Como, and how to deal with the disc in TBM. And then you can apply the categories, category 1, category 2, category 3, lying or not, prone or supine. But, okay. Where was I?
You were trying to explain you were going to the priority system, maybe?
Yeah, priority system. I'm sorry. The thing is, the priority system is based on the gait. You test a guy in the dural torsion, okay? If the guy has a dural torsion, you go to those specific points on the body, and one of those systems will free the dura. And this is your priority system. This is where you have to work. You may have a disc problem, but you may have a priority, a chemistry. So if you work on the structural for a disc problem, when the body necessitates that you work on the chemistry, you won't get results. The most important thing in chiropractic with your patient is that your patient is leaving your office the first time with at least 30% betterment. And you don't need to do 20, 25, 30 visits for a disc. The guy after 4 or 5 visits is okay, if you follow what the body is telling you what to do. And then Pete loved to teach. And he said, I'm going to teach the first visit. I said, do that. And he did an excellent job, because apart from the priority system, he developed a lot of protocols on the first visit, but on the structural, the chemical, and all the things. And he did a very, very good job. And he gave wonderful information to the students. And you have to be very grateful for Pete, what Pete did all those years, giving you those precious information. But the priority system is based on the gait. And if you do that, it's just like using this system as a GPS that you have on your car, okay? Now, the point of departure is sickness. The patient doesn't feel good, okay? The point of arrival is wellness. It's not pain-free, it's wellness. It's very different. Because pain-free, give him a shot in the butt, he's gonna feel better, okay? Give him a pill, he's gonna feel better. Wellness means the function is normal. That's very different. So all you have to do in chiropractic is to get rid of all the interferences to the right system and to the right mode of walking. Render the walking perfectly synchronized, as it was originally developed by the brain. And the field and the body and innate will give you the information where to work. It is not your brain, your left brain, that knows many things maybe, but not all, that's going to have the right information. That innate intelligence, that universal intelligence that has created your body, that is taking care of your body every second of your life, knows exactly what is wrong in this body and what needs to be treated first. So follow humbly what the body tells you, and you will see wonders. So we were supposed to give two seminars in May and June at Sanrocco, and this virus came, and those governments wanted to lock down. We don't know why, but anyway, that's it's another it's another subject. But we will do it again in September and October. But I was talking with Peter Stockling yesterday night, and I said, why don't we do a kind of a small webinar on Zoom to present the concept of the priority system. So give an idea to people who wants to follow the class to already have an idea of what's going on and what is the value of this system. And it's been a teamwork between Pete and I to develop this priority system in this first visit, because we created it in 1992. I gave it to George at one ICAK International, and he came back the year after. He said, we've been using it on 800 patients and it works all the time. So you can it's up your shoulder. It works really good. So I invite everybody to use it because it has simplified our work at Sanrocco. It allows you to see many patients, to do a few things to a patient and let the body work, and you will see the results. This is fantastic. Any question?
So we had a question from Mattia, and I don't really understand it. If Mattia, you want to speak, you can. Can you explain more about those 3 days about spirituality? Mattia, if you are with us.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, actually, I was wondering because before Brice said that you do like 3 days of a seminar with your mentor.
With Victor Frank.
Yes, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the level 4 in TBM.
Okay. Can you say more about this? I'm curious.
Oh, okay. It was the seminar was based on the fact that we had the power to connect to different dimensions, and so the seminar was based on the fact that to protect yourself, to clean yourself, to get access to some information in the field. So it was mental and spiritual in the same time. We could learn how to watch the aura, and at the end of the weekend, we were able to transmit an information to one guy in the room, and he could apply this information to the patient. We had on Saturday afternoon, we were filing papers about all the symptoms we had of the problem we had, and Vic would keep those papers. And on Sunday morning or Saturday night late at night, he would say, okay, one is on the chair, the patient's on the chair, one is testing the arm, and another one is correcting the vertebrae, the sequence of vertebrae. And the rest of you has to visualize the guy on the chair, transmit to one of you the information, who will send that information to the guy who does the muscle testing at the body points.
Okay.
So it was a very good exercise, which allows you to go beyond, okay, your left brain. The left brain is the mad dog. It is the garbage of the humanity. All the things they told you since you were a kid, you cannot, you should not, avoid that. You will never be able. It's very limiting, okay? And it's just like a computer who receives about 15 to 20 bits of information a second. Now you were born with your right brain, mainly, instinct, okay? You were not aware of the space, the time, at that time when you were born. You became conscious of that when you started communicating with people and you received information from people. This is when they started building your left brain, okay? So your right brain has no space, has no logic, and receives billions of information a second. And then the third point is your heart space. This is three-dimensional. This is multi-dimensional, the right brain. And the heart space is hyperdimensional. Why is it hyperdimensional? In the 70s, 80s, in Russia, there was a scientist called Kozyrov. He was working for the army mainly. And he found out that the human body has a torsion field, electromagnetic torsion field, that starts from here down to the pubic. And this torsion field is going backward and counterclockwise. So mine is going counterclockwise, yours is going counterclockwise, and this makes this a connection, okay? And this is, they realized as well that in the field of the human body, going up to 6 feet, which is a lot, it's almost 2 meters, it's 1.5 meters, it's 1 meter and 80 centimeters, okay? They found some DNA from the body, and photons, and biophotons from the body.
Yes.
So the communication, when you work with your heart space and your right brain, is far faster than any other communication. And you can reach some other dimensions that you're not aware in your left brain, but you become aware when you're dealing with your heart space here. And this is what we were doing in TBM in that session of level 4. And this is what we do in matrix energetics. We never work in matrix energetic, or I never work in TBM without going into my heart space, because I know this is my connection to the field where I will receive all the information that are needed for the wellness of the person that I have in front of me. Do you understand the concept?
Yep.
Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. I was just
okay.
Wondering about this. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Is there another question?
Yes, there is some.
Okay.
Nice. You already
I'm not boring, I hope.
Guys? Like,
not at all.
And a message, like, if you think, okay, good. Thanks, Mathieu. We had a question from Willem, but I think you kind of answered to it. But what technique did sport players respond the best to your time during the Juventus?
Applied kinesiology. Applied kinesiology and TBM mixed with applied kinesiology. You know, those athletes, it's very interesting. Some of those athletes are afraid of being touched at the muscular level. Some are afraid of being touched at the articulation level. That's very, very, very strange. South American are very, very weak when you touch the muscles. They don't like to be touched at the level of the muscles. So we have to work on those guys, you know, in a nice way and not aggressive way. So, and anyway, applying kinesiology, wait, this is an information. Wait, that's just, okay. You will see many guys working on applied kinesiology, pressing onto the tendon, the GTO, on the fibers, and no. When for everything you will do on the patient, whether it is to balance a muscle, whether it is to move a vertebra or a pelvic or a foot or any articulation, it is the moment you visualize that articulation, that muscle changed, it is done. It is done by the feel. The only thing you have is let your hand go nicely, non-force, and you will hear the click, you will hear the move, you will feel the move, and you will feel the muscle changing. The intent and visualizing already done is the key. As I said before, back in 46, 47, DeJohnette was already talking about visualizing the things as it is done. We're talking about 80 years ago, okay? And if you're saying that some chiropractors, and there's a very good, it's a book that is crazy. What's the name of the book? I don't remember. I'll come back. It's the chiropractor who was crippled by poliomyelitis when he was young. We're talking about 60s. The guy goes, he goes to school. He took I think it was St. Louis College, Chiropractic College. And he started working, and being crippled as he was by poliomyelitis, he was suffering a lot. So at that time, Van Rupp was working, asking, challenging the feet and the vertebra and seeing the difference of the leg length. I don't know for those who know Van Rupp or not, but it was fun. It was a fun technique. So he was doing that, but he was still, bending over the patient and having pain at the end of the day. So what happened? He said, why if I think that I'm challenging this vertebra and see the result on the leg length? And this is what happened. And then he went more into the process of, the guy is Gentry, Gentry. Book is difficult to find. And he said, if I can challenge mentally, maybe I can correct mentally. And so he did. But one day, he was practicing this for quite a while, and he got a patient on the table, and his secretary came in and said, Doc, there's this lady who's much in pain in the waiting room, and she's asking me when you can see her. Byron Gentry, thank you. I saw the message. Okay. And he was dealing with this patient on the table, and he finished with the patient, and he went to the waiting room, and the patient was gone. So he told the secretary, he said, where did she leave? He said, well, she was feeling exactly what you were doing on the patient on your table, and she felt getting better all the time, up to the point that the pain was gone. So she left. And so he decided, we're talking the 60s, we're not talking 2010, okay? He decided to work like this in his office, and in the evening, he would treat people on phone calls. This is the intent. When you look at B.J. Palmer doing a toggle recoil, look at his attitude. He knows what's going to happen. He knows that it's going to move everything. It's going to be an electrical shock along the spine. It's going to be something wonderful into the nervous system. Don't forget that chiropractors at the beginning were not fixing vertebra because of low back pain. They were dealing with functions. And they were getting rid of a subluxation because that subluxation was creating an interference to a normal physiology in the body. It's a very different way of looking at things. And if you look at this man was in New York, his name was Nemirov. He has two small booklets, red booklets that I bought. He was working only on one vertebra, and he created a system for functions and ailments with this elements, you go to this vertebra and do. And the spinous process in that case is inferior to the right or superior to the left, and deal with it with inspiration. Crazy. But if you only use a semi-rough approach on a sprained ankle, you will see a huge difference on the ankle once you have used this technique on the L5, L4. All these guys were geniuses. They were observing things. They were having fun, and they had faith in what they were doing. It was fantastic. They were not dealing with pain. They gave a shit about pain. What was the most important was the function, the balance of the body, getting rid of the interference. And today, the difference, it's probably important to underline that. But there's a difference between the chiropractic 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and chiropractic today. You will probably see many people today, young people, with a left sciatica when they're right-handed. Very often you see it. I tell you, 40 years ago, it was once in 100 or once in 1,000. Today, we see many of them. Why? Most of those people have a dural torque, a dural torsion that has a chemical or emotional origin. And if you do not deal with the chemical aspect and the emotional aspect, you won't get rid of this dural torque. It will come back all the time, because you can correct the dural torque mechanically as it is taught in applied kinesiology. But when the dural torque is due to an emotional problem, which is involving the bilateral piriformis, giving an instability in the sacrum and giving instability in the hip, and so this is confusing the attachment of the dura from the second sacral vertebra up to the third and second cervical. Then the jaw on an emotional problem will be tense. The masseter will be, and vaccinator will be tense on the right, because you will chew mainly on the right more than on the left when you're in emotional state, and so the pterygoid external on the left will be tense, which has the same effect and the same innervation as the upper trapezius. So you're going to have a tension of pterygoid external, a tension in the upper trapezius that's going to pull down your occiput, and your occiput is going to create a bilateral weakness of the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle will create a flattening of your lumbar curve, with the body weight and the trunk of your body going to the fifth disc and the fourth disc. And how do you solve that? If you're not creating at the source a correction, if you don't get rid of the information, the initial information of a mental attitude, of a mental problem. That's very important. Jean-Pierre, where are you?
I'm here.
Okay.
That was good. That was super.
Okay. Any question?
I had another one.
So I'd like to go back to that, because it's very important. Chiropractic was dealing mainly with ailments and a lot of structural problems at the beginning. Today, we have a lot of chemical problems, and we have a lot of mental problems. We have a society that is suffering of a chronic stress and a chronic adaptation to stress situation, which was not the case 40 years ago. Young people are stressed. They're afraid of not finding a job. They're afraid of losing their job. Middle-aged people are afraid of losing their job. Too many stress, and the quality of food is shit today. So you're poisoning your body with the food, with the soft drinks you drink. You're poisoning your body with your thoughts. And one thought can change the pH of your saliva by 600-fold in a millisecond depending on the thought that you have. Is it a nice one or a negative one? And if you look at the Emoto work on the memory in the water and what the water can perceive from the human being and his thoughts and emotions, it's quite amazing. Have you seen those works? It's a beautiful book. For those who haven't learned about it, Emoto was creating photos, high-speed photographies of water, frozen water. And the experiment was to put glasses of water in front of people of different languages, different religion, and those people will have to think of love, of gratitude, of forgiveness. And he will freeze the water, every glass, and then he would look at the crystals. Whatever the religion, whatever the language, the crystals for love were identical. The crystals for gratitude were identical. What does it mean? It means the body has an effect, the mind has an effect onto the water that is in a glass. Can you believe what you're doing to your body under the shower in the morning when your body under the shower is taking about a liter and a half of water in the skin? But if it's full of negative thoughts and emotion during the shower, that's going to be a bad day for you. It's changing the pH of your physiology. Can you imagine if you all day long are fighting, if you are reacting to things instead of responding? When you react, it's fight and flight. When you respond, it is just like taking 2 steps backward, observing things, and find out what is useful, what is not useful for you. That makes a very difference in your chemistry. One will be alkaline, the other one will be acid. One will bring you to health, the other one will bring you to sickness. There is no degenerative disease without an emotional problem at the beginning. None. Then you have the combination, like aspartame, who can bring multiple sclerosis, lateral sclerosis, that are because it's affecting too much the nervous system. Okay, because aspartame at 39 degrees is changing, and it finished to be formic acid at the end of the chain. Formic acid is not good for your brain and your nervous system. So you have to, we go back to TBM, we go back to the priority system that allows you to find out where to work. The body, the intelligence of the body is going to tell you, okay, this is where you have to work. Help me doing that. And now this is, okay, not anymore the chemistry. Go here, do that, and that's it. Is anyone eating?
C'est Léo qui marche.
Okay.
C'est bon, je l'ai muté, t'inquiète.
Okay. Did I answer your question?
Well, yeah, seems like.
And the other question?
Yeah, there is a good question, I guess, from Mike and Harold about what would be the physical and functional relation between the occipital fiber system of Desjardins and the temporosphenoidal line system described by Brice.
The TS line?
Yeah, TS line, yeah.
TS line is used by Brice, was created by Brice, was used by Desjardins, used in applied kinesiology. It is just a map where you got the vertebrae, you got here the lumbars are here, the lower dorsals are here, the upper dorsals are here, down to T7 right here. And to every vertebra is a muscle, like this one here, T12 is the psoas, okay? So they used to have it as a diagnostic tool, okay? And but you can deal with it as well. It's an evolution of Rice technique and an evolution of DiGiornet. You can use it when you're dealing with the vertebrae and the disc as well. But let's not go there. The TS line is a diagnostic line. It can be used as a therapy, but it's a very specific thing that is not taught at school, and it is not taught in the seminars that are given at the moment. Now, the CMRT is very different because this is the occipital line, and you have the occipital lines that are right here that goes to 1 to 7 right here, okay? And there's a map, okay? And this is corresponding also to organs. So the CMRT is a map for a therapy, and this is a higher level in SOT, which we use a lot in matrix energetics as well. There's a part of matrix energetic that is called MHRT. It's holographic. And instead of going into the whole procedure that DiGiornet was doing with the CMRT, that is a bit complicated, we apply the vertebra that is corresponding to the line on the occipital fibers. Okay, like this one. Okay, 7 will be L5 or T9. Okay, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I use it mainly. Well, I use it every day when I do MHRT on my patients. Okay, I include MHRT on my patient when I'm doing category 1 all the time. But one is a diagnostic tool, can be used as a therapy, but it's mainly a diagnostic tool. The other one is mainly you use it as a therapy. Okay. Because you can also, as Rice was using it, Rice was using it also pulling onto the fibers of the occiput. Okay, just like we're going to do it, we do it in MED. Okay, Richard Bartlett MED. He was supposed to come at the end of May to give a seminar in Kirchzarten in Germany, but the seminar has been canceled because of flights that are not available from the United States. But that's it. Okay. Did I answer your question?
I think yes. Harold, what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. But then would you, since you say the occipital line are linked to a correction, and the TS line would be more as a diagnostic tool, and RIS would kind of, I don't really mainly know all of the RIS, but would jump to different categories in a non-linear way. So it's said like...
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you. RIS is not linear at all, okay? Yeah. And of course, it's I would say it's more holographic than linear, okay? So that it brings the okay, it's gonna open a chapter of 3D versus holographic correction. Okay, the linear correction, you take a vertebra and you adjust the vertebra. This is a linear correction. Is the brain's going to maintain the correction? I'm not sure. When you do the correction in a non-linear way, in a holographic way, using the points on the cranium and using the holographic aspect of the vertebra, you have more probability than the brain's going to keep the memory of this correction. I agree with you.
And then, so like the occipital line system is addressable mainly in category 1 because of the, would it be because of the meningeal system is more free, so then the occipital fiber can report exactly what is happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome.
Next question, Brice? Or
yeah.
Tell me if you're a bit tired or anything. It's been 2 hours you speak.
That's okay.
That's okay. Everybody, you want to keep going? Yeah? Nice. I'm not sure. I don't see a lot of message. Yes, please? Okay. Nice.
It seems to, yeah, they say yes.
There's not a lot of yes, but no, joking. It's a joke. Okay. So next question was from, we had a question that was kind of linked, was from Justine and, hold on, Justine and, It was. Sorry. Yeah, Justin wanted to have more information about BEST. To tell us more about BEST and what is your approach from it.
Okay, it's a very interesting chapter. We've had the chance to be taught BEST by Ted Moore, the father. And the 3 levels. He had the first level, everybody knows about it. Okay. Okay. BEST means bioenergetic synchronization technique. It is based on polarity and also afferent and efferent information to the brain and from the brain. It is to balance mainly. The first phase is to balance the physiology. So people are away from a different physiology and go back to a normal physiology. When you put someone lying on his belly, you should not find some tension in the erector of the spine, because they don't need to work. They're not weight bearing. Okay, so they should relax. So this is when you find those people where the big tension in the spinal muscles, they have a physiology of stress, of adaptation. So the first part of BEST is to realign the physiology to the normality, to the moment. It is normal to be in tension, okay, when you're standing and you're sitting, but it's not when you're lying. So correct the physiology. Now the second part that Moore used to have was realigning the nervous system, but in the mechanical way, not in the stress physiology. And it was meant on the receptors, the eye receptors and the balance receptors of the ear. Okay, so it was to reconnect the body with the space, and so the cortex could send the right information to the limbs and to the body, and have the right tension in the right muscle at the right time. Okay. Now the third phase was purely emotional, and this is what we've been taught by Ted Moore over the years. And once Ted let the teaching to his son and daughter, they took over the business, and they wanted to probably make more money, and it became different. Today, a seminar is, I think it's 750 euros for a day and a half. I mean, it's crazy. This is why Pete wanted 3 years ago, wanted to teach what we were taught, especially the level 2 in BEST. Now, the evolution of BEST today, I don't know, because I haven't taken a BEST seminar for a long time, especially since Ted led the teaching. But it's still a very good technique. And for those who took the seminars that we were given, I think it was last year, in 2019.
In November, or I don't remember.
Probably sometime. Yeah, it could be November. Yeah, it was November. Yeah, it was November. Yeah, after Pete departure. We tried to teach the way we were taught, the principle, the spirit of the BEST technique. It will never be done again, because the thing is, the Moore's son and daughter are not quite happy of this happening. So we'd like to avoid some kind of a legal problem with them. But I encourage everybody to do BEST. The thing is, it's not that the technique is better than any other. You have to be curious. You have to go take network. take BEST, take NET, take NOT, take TBM, take SOT, take everything. Learn, and then fit to what you like. Do what you like. Do what you feel like doing. Dare to express what you have inside. That's all it counts. Be sincere with yourself. That's all. It's the spirit, it's the attitude, it's the passion you have that will transform your office into a successful office. The more you are sincere with yourself, the more your patient will feel it, will understand, and he will let you work on him, on her. Allow that to happen. But the point, essential point, is you, is your attitude, your philosophy. You see, the definition of chiropractic, it's an art, a science, and a philosophy. The science is common to everybody. Okay, it's medical university, osteopathic school, naturopathy, everything. You learn the anatomy, the physiology, everything. Plus the technique. The science, the technique that you're having is in the science. Then the support that is the most important is the philosophy. Because without the philosophy, there's no music to the song. It's flat. The philosophy makes your technique alive. It's just like the magic that is creating something different, that you get a higher level. You get to a higher level, but your technique got a higher level and get deeper into the body of the patient. And then the art. What is the art? The art is the way you're going to combine your science and your philosophy. That is, you take 100 chiropractors working with the science and their philosophy, but the way they practice it is unique. This is why chiropractic is so wonderful, because no one is practicing or should never practice as another one. Do not practice with your left brain thinking that this guy is successful, I should do the same thing. The most inspiring thing you can have is follow your heart. You know, I've been, the last seminar, the last TBM seminar that I gave this year, a student came to me and he said, "You've been working with Jean-Pierre. What did you learn from Jean-Pierre?" And I said, honestly, technically not much. But I learned one thing from him, is that we are unique. Jean-Pierre was a leader because he thought that he was unique. He never tried to copy anyone. He never tried to imitate anyone. And the 2 or 3 years that I spent with Jean-Pierre, I realized that I was unique. And I would never work like another one, but myself. And every guy who's coming to me, and you've been in my office, Jean-Pierre, and I'm telling that to everybody. Do not try to work as another one because he's successful, because he has results. It's bullshit. Because if you try to work with someone, like someone, you will reach a threshold where the other one you're imitating has another speed and goes way beyond. But you will have the roof that is upon your head, and you cannot go further up. But the only way to go further up is to break the box and to dare to be yourself and to dare to pretend and to dare to live your passion and to dare to live your philosophy and enjoy every moment you spend with your patients. And remember, you are a chiropractor 24/7, not 9 hours a day. Whether you're wearing a blouse, whether you're wearing a clinic jacket, whether you're wearing underwear, I don't give a shit. You are a chiropractor 24/7. Even under your shower, you're a chiropractor 24/7. It is your identity. Life brought you to chiropractic. It could have brought you to osteopathy. It could have brought you to another profession. Unconsciously, you chose that one. Unconsciously, you developed and you were curious to develop techniques, to learn more techniques. Be curious. Love what you learn. You will not use everything, but the knowledge is the key for success as well. The more you know, the more you can use things to help the person you have in front of you. Remember, your philosophy is to be of service. We are here to help. We are here to give. And you will receive so much from people. Their gratitude, their joy, the faith they will have in chiropractic and in you. This is worth a treasure, believe me. Be humble. Do not pretend to heal. You're not. I never healed anybody. I was an in-between. I was something that was carrying the information so that body could heal. And if you meet some guys that pretend to know everything and to be the best, stay away from them. Because the worst that you can have in your life is to pretend that you know. I've been working for, you said 42 years? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm still studying. I'm still studying. I spent my life practicing with the doubt and the fear of not knowing enough. This COVID-19 blocked me here for 7 weeks. I've been studying 120 tapes of research from George Goodhart. I went back to Wally Schmidt on the endocrinological problem and stress. I've been through Roberts again. I've been through Logan Basic again. I've been studying Rice for 7 weeks. I went back to my matrix classes because the fear, the doubt of not knowing enough is an engine for you to learn more, to be of service, and to be humble. You will never know enough. You will never be good enough. Remember that. You have all your life to become someone who can help. And be humble. Being humble will give you many doors to be opened. The sky, the heaven will give you help to become a better person and to help people in a better way. And never take the credit of the results that are happening in your office. Be grateful for every result you see and share that with your patients, not with your colleagues. Doesn't matter. They don't need to know. Be a leader for your patient, not for your colleagues. It's a waste of time. I prefer to be here for my patient than being in all the association meetings and pretend that I know whatever. I don't like it, but I like to serve my patients. And I like to have young doctors or students that are coming to me to spend a day or two, because I love sharing and I love to be give this little help that might give a sparkle, and that's someone who comes to see me and leave the office with hope and faith. And I hope that tonight I've been able to give you a bit of faith and a bit of hope. And I thank you so much for being so numerous to listen to me. It's an honor to be listened by young doctors and students. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you a lot, Brice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, guys, we can all thank Brice for his sharing. It was amazing. Like almost 2 hours of talks. I record everything, so I will put the link, I guess, on the event and send to those who wants to have some more, wants to have it. Of course, I will send it to you as well. And I think that's it, guys. I hope you're having a great time actually, and see you soon for another event, I guess.
Anytime you want. I can have fun.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to you. Thanks to everybody.
Merci Brice.
Merci à toi.
Merci beaucoup. Merci un petit peu.
Thank you, merci.
Merci, you're welcome.
Merci les gars. Merci.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup à tout le monde. Merci, merci.
Merci.
Incroyable.
Brice.
C'est parti.
Merci
Ok.
beaucoup.
Ça donne des frissons.
Tu reviens quand tu veux. Hein.
Hi, Kifik.
Oui, thank you.
Brice. Hey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Oh.
Accueil. Yeah, tu vois tout le monde.
Je vois tout le monde.
On va se mettre en multi-image.
Ah.
Hey Nicolas.
Ouais.
Plaisir.
Ah,
Hey,
j'ai gagné.
Nicolas.
Ouais. Mr. President.
Ce fauteuil.
Ah, le
Ah
meilleur.
ouais. Il manque juste la tête de Thomas là et on est bien.
Ah
Là.
ouais, Thomas, il est où?
Oh Martina.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi, people.
Allez.
Oh,
How was it? Did you
ça
like
fait
it?
plaisir de vous voir là.
It was awesome. C'est génial.
Ouais.
Like it? Good. Okay.
C'est top, super, Brice.
Et
Oh
Thomas, il est
là
où?
là.
Allez, Thomas.
Il est au top.
Ah, voilà.
Voilà.